Maybe I'm live. Hello, welcome to live streaming with me, Rachel. I forgot to tweet about it. Woof. Let me do that now. How y'all doing? I am very tired, is I think how I would describe myself right now. No particular reason. I'm not doing anything that would make me especially tired. I just am. All right. Today, we are continuing on a project that we've been working on for a while. And basically, we are trying to recreate the New York Times dialect quiz as a virtual assistant. So the original dialect quiz, you answered a bunch of questions that were multiple choice, and then at the end there was, I believe they had a map of all the different places where people spoke most like the way that you speak based on your answers to this quiz. And we actually have an assistant up and working. The tricky bit is that what we don't have is a classifier that works. Yes, we created a classifier that has some problems. And by that I mean gives just nonsense results. And so what we figured out was that our the original data that I'd gotten from Bert Vox, thank you Bert, had the responses as numbers, and I'd sort of like guessed what number corresponded to what answer in the multiple choice quiz, and I think I guessed wrong, so that was a source of error. And as a result, the model that we trained was a little bit funky, I think I would say. And if you were here last Friday, is the last time that I live streamed, we had a couple errors as well that I noticed in the second set of data cleaning that we did, so I've just gone through and fixed that. And I think it was to do with specifically the encoding, the character encoding of the IPA characters. This is the International Phonetic Alphabet, so this sound is ah, and this sound is ya, and together they are oi, and this sound is ah, liar, la. It's not usually how I think I would transcribe that for an American English speaker. I think that transcription you're more likely to see for a British English speaker, but anyway. Hello, Dogbath41. Welcome to the stream. So, I've redone the data cleaning to deal with the encoding issues, which means that we should not have any problems with it going forward, and I just wanted to show y'all that I've done that. And now, let's get going. So, we, wait for the Jupyter kernel to start. There we go. So, the original classifier that we built, we had information on the zip code of the respondent and the name of their city and state. And so we were treating it as a multi-class classification problem, trying to guess city-state combination for very populous cities. And it didn't work great. So our final classifier, we went with a XGBoost classifier, which is it's basically an ensemble model where you build a bunch of trees, and we had an accuracy of about 5%, so we were right about 5% of the time with the best model that we've done. And we've been doing lots more thinking. So the data that we have now, the sort of individual level thing that we're trying to guess for people who are taking our quiz is latitude and longitude. And I should say, this quiz is not going to be able to like tell you where you are in the United States. It just shows you information about where people are more likely to speak like you or use similar words that you use. Pranav said, just registered for ACL, excited for your widening NLP talk and terrified of my ACL talk. Congrats, Pranav. I'm sure your talk will be wonderful. Also, I sort of wish I'd recorded my talk later because some very relevant things have happened between here and there. So if you didn't know, I'm one of the keynote speakers for Widening NLP, which is an Association for Computational Linguistics conference workshop, and it is about what I won't build on sort of ethical grounds and that discussion. Andic says, spirit, Rachel. Hi, I'm not entirely sure what you mean by spirit, but thank you. Hi, Ravi. Hi, Alper. Welcome. So, right now, we have information on what on what different people say. So this is, do you say the first syllable of lawyer as rhyming with boy or rhyming with law? So lawyer, lawyer. Do you say the word vowels in cot and caught the same or different? I say them different. Most people in the US say them the same. It's sort of more of a southern feature. Some of the eastern seaboard has a distinction there, and so on. So we have information about what people say, and then we also have the latitude and longitude of, I believe the survey data was taken from students, and it's sort of like, where would you consider your hometown? So their hometown, if you will. And yeah, so we were talking about it, and we had a couple different approaches that we were talking about potentially using. Let's only have one copy of this notebook open. I don't need the release notes. Thank you kindly. All right. So a couple of options that we talked about was K nearest neighbors, using the non-geographic features, and then majority vote for the actual latitude and longitude. And Amir Kelleg suggested this. And the biggest drawback that I think is that if we end up with a tie between multiple points and we sort of try to take the Euclidean center or calculate some sort of centroid, we might end up with just like nonsense answers like, you're from the Gulf of Mexico, like in the water of the Gulf of Mexico, which I think is generally not a place that people are from. And the biggest benefit is that, especially if we do one-hot encoding, we can handle scaling. So K nearest neighbors is a distance-based measure. So if you are inputting numeric features, it assumes that bigger differences between numbers means that they're different farther apart in space. So if you're doing something like label encoding, so you have, let's say, a multiple choice answer, and you're like, okay, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. If those three things are like, pickles, jam, and bananas, those things don't necessarily have an inherent spatial or sort of like scalar relationship to each other, so you might end up with sort of a nonsense encoding, more or less. Those are all things that go good in peanut butter sandwiches, was where I came up with that. There's a southern thing. Peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches with pickles. It was one of my grandpa's favorites, and they're great. I would highly recommend them if you are a person who enjoys sandwiches. Other things that we talked about was suitability modeling. So this is where it's a method from GIS, which is Geographical IS Information Systems, I think, like map stuff. Geospatial analysis sort of stuff, where you have multiple maps that are overlaid on top of each other, and that are each mapping different qualities or attributes of a space, and you try to pick an optimum point given all of those things. So like, where should you build a new park? You want to be like in, maybe a neighborhood that doesn't have a park, maybe one where people, don't have a lot of access to transit, so that they have something nearby that they can use, that sort of thing. And you layer all these things. And the biggest reason I didn't use this is I could only really find examples using MATLAB, and I don't want to. Sicklet says Geographic Information Systems. Yes, thank you for what GIS stands for. And then the other thing I talked about was maybe doing 2 regression classifiers, one for latitude and one for longitude. But there was the possibility, again, of just having nonsense classifications, because the probability, like the most likely latitude and most likely longitude, together, the joint probability may not be the same as each of those individually, combined, right? So, yeah, I think we're going to work on k nearest neighbors and then doing majority vote. And I've also thought about maybe doing reverse geocoding so that the majority vote is actually on the city level, which I think might be a little bit more helpful, or at least like locality level. And what we did last time, as I remember, is we're using this reverse geocoder library. Is it gonna actually tell me information about it if I just recover? How was I getting that pop up? Okay, which is an offline reverse geocoder. So reverse geocoder, you put in latitude and longitude, you get text information about a place out. Geocoding is, here's the text information about a place and I want the latitude and longitude out. And we got it to work, which is fantastic. So we had just sort of like points from the data set, and we got out the name of the place where this is. So this latitude and longitude is Pittsfield, Massachusetts, in Berkshire County, in Massachusetts, which is a state in the United States. It's on the eastern seaboard. So the next thing that I want to do is a little bit of data cleaning, because when we just plotted latitude and longitude as XY coordinates, we had some like really not super in scope data points, I would say. So we could like see the outline of the US and then just like a bunch of other points are like in various oceans and various other places. So we are going to remove those. And yeah, how are we going to do that? So I think the easiest thing is going to be to create a new column in our data frame that has country. So does reverse geocoder have something that just looks up country? Because I feel like that's going to be a little bit faster than trying to get more fine-grained geographical information. So what I'm first going to do is look up reverse geocoder library Python country. Also, I should say a source of confusion for me last time is that reverse geocoder and reverse geocode are two different libraries, and one of them has not been updated to support Python 3, and I do not use Python 2 these days. So I'm just pulling up the documentation here. KD trees, populated with cities, DO names. Okay, so we're not going to get very small cities, which is good to know, and actually I'm fine with as well. First time installation, blah blah blah, release notes, reverse, results, search, single threaded KD tree. I don't care about that. Custom data source, don't care about that. I'm fine with whatever they have built in. The reason I want it offline is because I don't want to have to deal with when we get the participant information back, because we're going to have to run this every time somebody takes the quiz. I don't want to have to connect to some sort of Geo API. Major inspiration, reverse geocode library. This is the older one. All right, so it looks like you just get all of the information out and that's your choice, which I guess I'm fine with. And then if I just want... Okay, so I just want the CC here, which I believe stands for country code. And if I'm wrong, we'll find out. And I'm kind of just interested in... Sorry, so what I'm thinking about now is, do I want to include just states in the United States, or do I want to include, places where we did a colonialism, like American Samoa and Puerto Rico? And I don't even know what their country code would be, honestly. And I also don't know that much, like, sociolinguistically about American Samoa or Puerto Rico, specifically, like, English in Puerto Rico. because this is an English language assistant. Maybe I'll just start by just sorting by country code and then see what we got. Yeah, Robbie says, after the dialect classifier, what will you start, Rachel? So once we actually have the classifier working and in our assistant, which, again, the assistant is done, all we have to do is just, like, pop in a classifier that actually gives good answers and not nonsense answers. I'm going to launch the assistant so people can interact with it, and then we're going to continue the development process. So I'm still in the proof of concept stage, basically, a whole 6 months into this process. And once people can actually interact with it, then we're going to continue the Rasa development process and take in conversations and correct errors and detect problems and, CI/CD and continuously improve the assistant and make it really nice to use. And hopefully all my friends who are linguistics professors can use it as like a fun activity in their class. David says, I have a problem with coding with Python. Can you maybe help? Oh, maybe. I would say I'm a okay Python programmer. I'm not necessarily the person I would first go to for help. But maybe. All right, so apply in Python, row-wise. So what I want to do now is I want to go through my column. I want to go through two columns, latitude and longitude, and row-wise apply this and then get the country code out. And because pandas is a, ersatz version of R, you can usually look for the R things and they'll tell you how to do them in pandas, thankfully. Robbie says, your chit-chat will fail in front of me, presumably the assistant's chit-chat. I asked weird questions. I mean, ideally a well-designed, flexible assistant should be able to handle, random chit-chat. So even if someone does ask a question that's sort of like outside the scope of the assistant, it should be able to like respond to that in a meaningful, helpful way, perhaps by saying like, this is outside of my scope or something like that. And then specifically chit-chat features, so just sort of like, little couple turn interactions that you're going to have very commonly. The way that Rasa deals with that is using a, what would you call it? It's not really a full module, like a section of functions basically to deal with that, because it's super, super common with assistants. All right. So I have a page up here. Let's see. To apply our own function or some other library's function, Pandas provides three important functions, namely pipe, apply, and apply map. All right. Custom operation for the entire data frame. In the below example, we will use pipe function to add two values to the entire data frame. Okay. So, they're defining a function here that takes in two arguments, adder1 and adder2. It returns adder1 and adder2. Okay, so I see here, so this is all of the data frame, and this is what's being added to it. So this will add it to every cell, which is not what we're looking for. So I think apply is probably going to be, row-wise or column-wise application. That's what we're looking for. My problem is that my code works and I'm making a Discord bot. My bot is online, but when I type .ping, it should say pong, but it does nothing. I just started today, but it doesn't work. So I haven't worked with Discord before, but if you are hosting it, can you get like, does the server return a ping at like 200? Like, are you getting correct responses from just the server itself? Maybe? Okay, the code is correct and the bot is online, but when I type ping in Discord, it does nothing. Yeah, I check your server logs, see what's see how the incoming text is being handled. Based on mistakes that I've made, you could be pointing to the wrong webhook, maybe. Oh. All right. David, just a message from the sport ping pong. Haha, gotcha. All right. Row-wise or column-wise. Excellent. np.mean, axis equals 1. Find the mean values across rows. Find the mean values across columns. Element-wise function application, apply map. Okay, I think this is actually what I want. Does it have to be a lambda, or can it be a regular function? Find the square root of all the elements in a data frame with apply map as shown below. All right, let's give this a shot. I think this is going to be our best choice. And just quickly, how do I get into an ordered dictionary? I want the Python dictionary lookup by key. Dictionary lookup value by key, because I can never remember the syntax. Get key by value. That's the opposite. That is the direct opposite of what I want. Value by key. There we go. All right, and it's dot get and then cc. Did I not run this? Sure didn't. List object has no attribute get. Do I have to look at the first item? Yeah, all right, excellent. Okay, so this is a list where the item in the, a list of length 1 where the item in the list is an ordered dictionary, and then I'm getting by the key, so like the name address, I guess, I want the value. So I'm trying to get whether or not it is US. Okay, excellent. So that's what I want to do for each of these points, where the coordinates are, actually I think I want to pop this in here as well. So this is the information, and this should still work. Yeah, so this is the information that I want from the dictionary, the latitude for each row, the longitude for each row, and then I just want to get the country code. That's all the information that I need right now. David says, I'm looking for help. Yeah, this seems more like a DevOps question. Yeah. If you have, what I would do now is I would get your logs of whatever server is running your assistant, and then ask in the Rasa forums, because there are a number of things that could be going wrong. There could be a connection issue. It could be that your intent is not being classified correctly, although it sounds like it's a pretty narrow intent. Although if it's too narrow, you might have overfit your model so that it's only going to work with like exactly the same text it was trained on. So there might be like a capitalization issue, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could be causing this particular problem, so I would need more information. All right, what am I doing? I am finding the apply map. All right, so find the square root. So this is going to do, so it looks like apply map is actually going to do it to every column, and I want to do it to every column and every row. And I actually just want row wise. So I think actually I want apply. So their thing here is df.apply, and then the function, and then axis equals 1. So I think I'm going to put this into a function that takes in def, what do we call this? CC from coords. So we're getting the country code from the coordinates. I think that makes sense. And then as input, it's just going to get a data frame. And then Let's just call it info, I guess. Will be... Actually, yeah, let's df.line1. Yeah. I think this should work. We'll find out, I guess. Okay, so what I want it to do, name df not defined. Okay, great. And now we should do tf from chords, and then what do we call it? Data, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, I just called it data. And then we called it data, and then I want just the first row, which is the first row and all the columns. Nope, that don't work. Okay. Pandas get the first row. Where's the last n rows of a data frame? Oh, okay. I can just do head one. Okay. Nope, that's not gonna work. So this should just be the first row of the data frame. Too many values to unpack. Expected to. All right. So Okay, so right now it's in a data frame, and I just want it as like a float, maybe. Robbie has a suggestion for getting the first row. I think the issue here is that this is a float and this is a data frame, right? Yeah, no, I see how that could be. Yeah, okay, so we want the value, get value from a single cell data frame, Python. You gotta get value of a cell of a data frame. That is what I want. Oh, is it just dot get underscore value? That would be very easy. Series object has no attribute get value. Sure ain't. Okay. df.getValue function provides quickly retrieve a single value in the data frame at the past column and indexed. All right. So let's do LNG and then 1 maybe. Pandas get data frame. Get value, pandas. Yeah, no, this is definitely a pandas function. Okay, how to properly fetch single cells. Get value would be faster and more appropriate. I would love to get the value, but I can't? All right, let's just pull up the doc so you can be confused along with me. All I want to do is get a specific value. That a copy or reference is returned for setting operation may depend on the context. Oh, that sounds awful. Noted. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for. .lock is primarily label based. We'll use the Boolean array, ilock. Index, series, data frame, get value. Interesting. Okay, is it just like not a thing anymore? Has it been removed? Index get value, and put value, add fast get value and put value methods to data frame. Sparse array get value, series get value. All right, let's see, because this could be the potential problems. I hate the way they do the index at the top. It's really frustrating. All right, let's see what they say about get value. Have been deprecated. All right, noted. Okay, but this is get values, not get value. Now, I swear, you used to be able to do this. And I'm definitely seeing examples of people doing it online. This is frustrating. I will admit, I'm happy that pandas exist, but I'm not the biggest fan. Mainly because I'm just used to R and having a lot more sort of tooling available around manipulating data frames. So, yeah, get value, not fine. All right. And that also doesn't work. It's method of panda series, not df. So, okay. So that means I would need to convert it to a series first. Series object has no attribute get value. I don't know that it is an attribute of series based on that particular